Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is Sean Bell. I'm joined by Matt Murray.
Hello there.
And do you like your rodents thrown out of a second-story window? How about shot in the face? If you answered yes to one or both of those, you need to call James Farley, rodent exterminator extraordinaire. How's it going, James?
It's vermin, Sean.
Why do you hate rats so much?
I don't like rats. I don't like rats at all.
Rats and squirrels now we're adding to this.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that was going to pan out that way. But it was horrific. Yeah.
I mean, do you want to talk about that now, or are you going to do it in what we've been playing?
Probably in what you've been playing. Cause,
okay, that's fine. We'll shelve it.
Or are you going to let people think you just did that in the park on Saturday, rather than in the game?
It was in the game, yeah. I also didn't throw any snowballs at birds. It's, yeah.
Okay, this show is supported by Patreon. If you want to head to patreon.com/TCGS, you can pay for a bonus show and extra video stuff and stuff like that. Our Patreon producers for this episode are Alan M. Nash, Steve Garrett, and Aaron Patrick. Thank you very much. What have we got in the feedback, Matt?
We are going to start feedback with Steve Garrett. Gents, as a full Nelson level patron, Twitch subscriber, generous tip jar donator, confirmed, t-shirt buyer, I have to ask myself, what the fuck more do we have to do to get Sean to stream FIFA? I mean, surely we own his own soul by now, and he should bow down to our every whim. Matt, as CEO, can you not raise this in Sean's performance review or something?
Right, James, don't join in, because you know that we've had conversations about how we're going to play this. Plans are afoot.
James is loving riffing you a new one every time.
He is, even though he knows.
How long have plans been afoot for, Sean? About a year.
They've been more firmly afoot in the last sort of week. I've basically
you said
that
you would consider it.
No, I've said I'm just thinking how to step down doing Play by the Bell for a bit, and then we'll do FIFA instead. Because I mean, that is the only way. The reason it's taken so long is because we've been trying to think: is there a way of doing both? But I feel like
that's
alternating it every other week, it'll just be like, why is that not true, James?
Because Play by the Bell didn't have to be just indie games. That was never the original remit of the show.
Well, yeah, but you can't just make that. Oh, and by the way, sometimes I play FIFA.
Well, no, you're Sean, you're not going to be sometimes playing FIFA. You're going to be playing 3 seasons of FIFA.
No, we can't do that though. That's not going to be fun for anyone.
It'll be fun for me, Matt.
I reckon what we do
watch 60 hours of Sean streaming FIFA.
Absolutely, I think it'll be brilliant.
Well, we'll see about that. No, I reckon what we do is that. So I'll do a few more weeks. I think of Play by the Bell.
Few more. So I need to have a number, Sean.
This was going to be next week.
Okay, so. All right, well, hang on. Okay, so this week I'm doing No Man's Sky. Next week I really want to do Fight Crab. I mean, after that, I've got no idea. So maybe we just say Fight Crab is the end of, well, not the end, but the hiatus of Play by the Bell, and then it is FIFA time, and then maybe what? So if I do one FIFA, and then maybe a few weeks of Play by the Bell, and then I go on to the next FIFA, maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it depends because we also need to figure out. We need to figure out some ground rules as well for FIFA, like how you're going to do it. Okay. Because there's issues related to difficulty, but also whether you're allowed to simulate anything or whether you've got to play everything. Or there's.
I thought we'd already said I've got to play everything. But...
Well, I don't know because honestly though, in all seriousness, that will take a very long time. It's I play multiple seasons a year, but that's because I'm playing it every day for for a while. And so it may be not feasible to do it in that way, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There'll be a way to... we may even do something have a system whereby you can skip 5 or whatever, but you can choose when you want to do that or something like that, And then if you run out of those, you just got to keep going. Something like that.
Okay.
Well, we should also define how he's controlling it. Is it going to be Guitar Hero controller? Is it going to be Dance Mat? How are we going to get... I reckon Sean should Dance Mat every game.
I'll tell you what would be... this is very unlikely to happen. I do concede this, but it would be amazing if this ends up being like Mass Effect was for Dave.
That would be so good. I really hope
this is it. Yeah, obviously, hopefully it will work in the obviously me getting interested in the journey rather than I'll never be into just playing FIFA for for the sake of playing FIFA.
Sean. You don't know that. You don't know that.
I mean, I've got a pretty good idea, but okay, okay. So what should we say? It's after Fight Crab. Fight Crab is going to be the last Play by the Bell, I think it's a great one to end on. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be shit.
I mean, I would also urge you, Sean, if you're going into the journey, not to be going into it for the narrative. Because you're going to be quite disappointed if that's the case.
I mean, I'm pretty much counting on the story being good, but yeah, okay.
But also the story, this is the thing though, there are so many games between bits of story as well, is the other thing. This is why we'll have to figure something out.
Can't wait. It's going to be brilliant.
It is going to be brilliant. I can't wait.
Yeah, Sean, can you send me those things I asked you to do as well?
Yes, I will.
That's a critical part of all this.
Matt's got the marketing all figured out.
I've had plans for I mean, it must be almost a year now. There's a PSD on a computer at work that's been ready to go for a long time, except some crucial elements are missing. So yeah, please send it over. I'm very excited about it. So you're going to do No Man's Sky and then Fight Crab. The trouble is, you can't talk about Fight Crab, so I don't know how we're going to promote that.
It's first rule.
Yeah, there's a first rule Fight Crab.
But there's no rules about streaming it, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. Steve Norman at STV Norman says, guys, Trash Can Trolls was a 90s follow-up to the far superior 80s Garbage Pail Kids. You're seriously missing out is if the Trolls is all you know. And then at Adstar on Twitter. Sorry to be that guy, and I'm sure I'm not the first. Trash Can Trolls are actually a spin-off series of Garbage Pail Kids, which we also had in the late 80s, which was subsequently renamed to the Garbage Gang. P.S. Love the show.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I did not know that.
Now,
I thought...
Sean, or next week?
Yeah, I'm really sorry for not knowing enough about gross children's cards. I looked some of these up because I was saying on the show that I remember them being sort of gross but basically child friendly. I don't know why I was allowed these as a child. They're horrific.
See, I was looking
really
at some
horrible.
of these as well, and like the Garbage Pail Kids as well. Like you look at this is crazy. Like some of this stuff. This is not for kids at all. Did you want to know my confession? My confession is that when you spoke about us last week, and it's just dawned on me now, I was like, I know who these guys were. And I just realised I was thinking about the Cabbage Patch dolls.
You're actually thinking about the Cabbage? Okay, amazing.
Which we had. It's not these at all, is it?
No.
Shame, because
these are just cards with like those characters doing really gross and occasionally violent things.
I'll tell you what. You want to? Okay. Oh, no, don't do this. I'll tell you about it later. Okay.
What? You can't say that on the podcast.
Okay. No, because there's a Star Wars related one I've just seen, which is you just type in like Garbage Pail Kids and then Lukey Leia, and then you'll see what I mean.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, okay, we get a live reaction.
Lukey Leia. Have I spelled that right? Oh, that's bad.
It's gross, isn't it?
That's really gross.
Yeah.
Oh, Lukey Leia. Right, that is... Yeah.
What are they thinking?
Don't look that up, listeners.
Yeah.
Don't look it up.
It's horrendous.
I haven't. I'm going to save that for my private time a bit later.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about the fact that D&D Grandma suddenly randomly appeared on our feed. We don't know why. It's a D&D podcast that just suddenly appeared. Again, sorry, apologies if any of you listened to it and downloaded it. But if you're a fan now, then I guess that's good. Paddle was tweeted in, boys, please do a D&D podcast. I'll double my Patreon sub to hear that. I feel like Dave's Cockney rage, James's lovable misery, Matt's boundless enthusiasm would make for some amazing character archetypes, especially with Daddy DM Sean trying to wrangle you all into behaving.
I mean, James, you're really not up for it, are you?
I wouldn't mind, to be honest.
Okay.
I would give it a go. The only problem is I'm just thinking, like, what are the logistics of this? Like, how on earth could you do this?
Oh, you can do it over the internet easily enough. Yeah, so... who was it? Someone tweeted in recommending Roll20, which is basically a program you can use to like coordinate all the game stuff, and then the rest is just people chatting, basically. It's doable. It's more. So I suppose it's more now down to whether or not Dave is up for it.
Well, let's get it agreed before Dave can say no, and then Dave, do you want to get involved in the thing that everyone's talking about, or do you want to not? Also, Sean, can you change your Twitter name to Daddy DM Sean?
I probably should, shouldn't I?
Well,
seems rude not to.
And then not explain it to anyone.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, my only knowledge of D&D is that one person is reading the story and the others are like, I hit you with my axe, and the DM's like, no, you didn't, because the troll stomped in the room and killed you. Dead.
This also is like a 67-sided dice or whatever, and all that you have to use.
I mean, there is an element
possible?
I don't know.
Oh, you can get 100-sided dice. Mate.
How is that possible, Sean? Aren't they just cuboids?
Basically a ball.
Boxes?
Yeah, it's like no. So like D20s are pretty common. 20-sided.
Oh, I know about
ones.
D20 boy.
Yeah, it's mostly D20s and D6s. That's pretty much it.
There's D100s. My God.
Yeah, D100s are a thing. But yeah, it's that. Basically, what you've described is more or less it, but with more like. I'm going to do this, and then the DM will say, "Okay, roll for roll to attack," and then you have to get like a certain
so it's
result
a bit
or
like
whatever.
those Sonic adventure books I read when I was young, where it's like there's like a choice, and you have to go to like page 20 if you do this, or page 15 if you do that. Yeah, it's like that. It feels exactly like that. It feels identical to those books I read.
If it allows us to move on, it's exactly like that.
As a young child. I think I'd love to see James get involved in that. I reckon it'd be quite funny. You seem like right up for it, James.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get on to drinks.
Well, I just googled like 100-sided dice, and it is just like a ball. It's how does that? I don't know. Go on.
How does that work?
Yeah.
You just roll it, and then the number that's on the top is the number you rolled.
Yeah, but how does it stop? Because
I don't know. You just have to roll it really gently. But then I suppose you'd have to. If you rolled it too gently, that's like you're trying to.
Trying to cheat.
Fix the result. Yeah. I have no idea.
I don't think they thought this through.
No,
it's not very practical,
stupid.
is it?
Also, I think aren't they like ridiculously expensive dice you can get? Like, I bet
there's like really fancy ones you can get. Yeah.
Oh, let's get fancy dice, boys.
Well, there's a Patreon stretch goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Everyone listening, we need a fancy dice. Others, I'm not doing this.
Stretch goal will be special computer game show D20s.
Oh shit!
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Is there such a thing as like a D200?
A D200?
If there isn't, can we invent one, make one, kickstart one?
Can we make it happen?
Whatever the record is for the number of Ds, we'll just beat it by one and say this is the world's first D202.
I mean, I've just Googled.
Well,
that's what they call it. So a D6 is a 6-sided dice, or a D20 is a 20-sided.
Why don't you just call it a 20-sided dice? Why?
No, because it's more words.
D20, fam. D20, bro.
Anyway, I've searched for D200 and it's just coming up with the Nikon camera, so I don't think that's...
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll need to find someone who can make a 200-sided dice list, and we'll be the first.
Anyone with a 3D printer.
I've just checked.
Shit!
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, okay, is there 300?
300?
No. Is there 1,000? Oh, no, we've got to stop this. This is ridiculous.
No, I want D1000 would be very good.
All right, let me just check. There's 1,000-sided dice.
You're kidding? I mean, why am I surprised by that?
Actually, I think they're right. It looks like a golf ball.
No way. There isn't one. Okay, D10,000.
No, come on. Let's just...
Okay. Don't
is there a D infinity?
Yeah, is there? Not possible. Okay, I'm going to investigate dice after this. Anyway, we also talked about drinks last week. My time-travelling dog, aka at Greg_Shepherd, has Sean tried ginger Pepsi Max or my new favourite raspberry Pepsi Max. Both are exceptionally good for diet drinks.
Do you know, I've tried the raspberry. I wasn't massively keen on it, which I was really surprised by. When they announced they were doing it, I was well excited because I really like raspberry stuff. But no, I'm firmly a cherry man.
So what you're saying is Greg Shepherd is an idiot? Is that?
He's full of shit, mate.
It's an absolute bullshit. Greg,
don't ever tweet us again, mate.
The ginger one is good. I like the ginger one. I've had that quite a few times. Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
Kerr-Lewin is here with to basically put James in the corner and tell him what's what. I may have misheard on the. I may have misheard on the latest podcast, but James says he drank a couple of cans of Diet Coke a day, but he didn't like Coke Zero as he thought it had too many chemicals. Well, actually, one of the things I learned in college as part of a marketing module in business studies was that Coke Zero and Diet Coke are literally exactly the same. They're just marketed differently because Coke found from market research that men were reluctant to buy Diet Coke because it was associated with dieting, which, as bad as it sounds, is not considered by them as a masculine thing to do. That's why there's Diet Pepsi and Pepsi Max. Also,
okay, stop.
Okay.
I've got to stop you there because
I'll do it more. Yeah, okay.
Because I'm afraid, Kurt, you are bang wrong about that.
Whoa!
Because
bang wrong.
Body is listening to this now, thinking, "I'm an idiot. What have I done?"
Because I've been doing a bit of research on this because I saw this email and I just thought, well, that is obviously true. Like, there are elements of the fact that it was created, for that reason. But also, they are a bit different. So, the difference is the caffeine content. So, Diet Coke has 12.8 milligrams per 100 millilitres, whereas for Coke Zero, it's 9.6 milligrams. So, it's actually quite a little bit, quite a bit less. And then also, we got here the food acids used are different as well. So regular Coke contains 338 of phosphoric acid. Diet Coke contains 338 and 330 of citric acid, while Coke Zero contains 338 and 331 of sodium citrate. So that would
just imagine you drinking it and be like, oh, fucking sodium citrate. What the fuck?
Exactly.
So there's fucking sodium citrate in my drink.
It's probably the sodium citrate that gives it a slightly different taste to Diet Coke.
No.
So, although superficially they are the same kind of drink, there are actually minute differences which to the Diet Coke connoisseur you can tell that there is a difference between the two.
Coke connoisseur.
Yeah,
okay,
that's good. That's going on your t-shirt.
Also,
mate.
as you said, diet drinks with the sweeteners are considered good for you when they're tested on rats. They eventually developed a cancer. However, the dosage the rats received before showing signs of cancer was the equivalent of a human having 24,000 cans a day over a sustained period of time. So I wouldn't worry about a couple of cans. But have you had 24,000 cans a day at any point, James?
I've tried, but I've never quite reached that level.
What's the most you've got? What, 10,000?
About 5 maybe.
5,000? That's pathetic. The problem that I have found with sweet and zero-calorie drinks is that too many can set off cravings for sugar more so than actually having sugar in the first place. Sorry for the lecture, but I found it quite interesting when I learned all this.
I think that is interesting as well. James disagrees.
No, I think it's interesting, but he's wrong about the chemical stuff. So
okay, because I thought the Coke Zero and Pepsi Max came about because we discovered an amazing new sweetener, didn't we? It's like acesulfame potassium or something. So that's why, even though they essentially fulfill the same purpose, they figured they would have to skew it off and make it a separate branded thing. But
I think it was mostly for marketing, but also there is a slight difference in taste as well. It's not identical.
So if you're fine-tuned
exactly.
to one or the
if
other.
you've been drinking minimum 2 cans a day for like the last 20 years or so, you can tell the difference. It's
okay.
There is one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's mad, James.
Why?
Well, I think that's quite expensive, isn't it? 2 cans, they're like a quid each now at this point.
No, if you buy the multi-pack, they're not that expensive, Matt.
Are you buying crates at a time?
Of course you buy them in crates. You've got to do it you try and get it so when they're on offer for about £6 for 24, and then it works out. What's that?
James, is your back room like the cellar of a Weatherspoons, just like Coke all over the place?
If you actually, I could take a picture because I've actually got quite a few crates at the moment because I'm worried about Brexit.
Is your desk basically made of crates of Coke, and then you've got a big bit of 6x4, whatever. You got some wood on the top of it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
It's not like that, but as I said, I have been collecting them because I'm worried about Brexit, and I'm worried they're going to cut off my Diet Coke.
God, you've been stockpiling Coke.
Yeah, it is a concern.
But you get you on doomsday preppers.
Yeah. How many crates have you got at home now?
About 6 or 7, I think.
Oh my God, James! You've got 7 crates of Diet Coke because you're
worried
about
put them?
no deal Brexit.
Where are you storing them?
In the garage.
Okay, I forgot you got a garage.
You get it when they're on £6 for like 24 cans. It's 25p a can. I mean, that's not bad.
That's good.
Okay,
good.
well, we've had it in the past where people have tweeted you because of a cheap copy of FIFA. If anyone sees Coke on the decent price, please tweet at JCA Farley on Twitter.
Please do let me know because I'm always on the lookout for cheap Diet Coke.
If there's a corner shop in the Outer Hebrides or somewhere in France, tell James any bottles, cans, crates, you name it. Please tweet James about any sort of cut price Coke. James, how have you not got the syrup and the optics and stuff at home so you can have your own Pepsi gun or Coke gun?
I don't think I'd ever be able to recreate it perfectly enough. Is the problem?
No, it's well easy. Just do it. Yeah, you get a syrup, you attach that. We should probably move on to James Huge. Basically, we talked about E3 leaks, of course, because that happened. Basically, last week when discussed,
not huge.
Yeah, well, no, you don't know, mate. He's, he's packing heat.
I think we just found his new nickname, but go on.
James Huge. Tell your friends. Basically, last week when discussing the E3 data leak, Sean mentioned GDPR. I wasn't 100% sure if it would apply since it happened in the US. However, since GDPR relates to all EU citizens' data, it would be possible for them to be fined up to 20 million or 4% of the company's annual revenue, whichever is greater. Notable recent fines are BA receiving 183 million million pound fine, and Marriott getting a £99 million fine for similar breaches. And Athena and some others, said the same thing basically, that because it controls data usage for all Europeans, whether it's hosted in the EU or not, they are in deep trouble.
Yeah, I was getting mixed up with pre-GDPR legislation. They're absolutely right, and I should have remembered, because when GDPR came in, there was loads of American websites that were just like, "You're in Europe, we don't understand what's going on, so we're not going to let you look at the website just to be safe."
Yeah, it's a European thing, I think. So goodbye.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of people were saying after the league, this is really going to badly affect E3, and at that point, I guess my thoughts, okay, so I guess it's going to affect it because people won't be happy to maybe sign up to a press pass or something, because they don't want their data lost again. But I didn't even think about the GDPR fine thing and what that can actually do to the ESA. I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but
I mean, of all the things that could bury E3, I don't think anybody's counting on data protection legislation.
First Sony leaving, and now this. Like, they haven't had a good year.
No.
Rich, how would you say that? How do you pronounce that surname? Rich Byrne?
Burn.
It is Burn. I always get confused. Anyway, Rich Burn. Good evening, you magnificent specimens. Have any of you actually seen the film Animal Olympics?
Nope.
This was absolutely my favourite film when I was a kid. A feature-length cartoon by Steven Lisberger featuring the voice talents of Gilda Radner, Harry Shearer, and Billy Crystal, with a soundtrack by Graham Gouldman of 10cc. No one else I've ever met knows what it is, so I was hoping last week's pod title meant an in-depth retrospective of the classic was forthcoming. Alas, it was not meant to be. He's got a great tip as well, actually. Also, Matt, if you want to pause the skippable cutscenes of Fire Emblem, just press the home button. This tip works for everything. That's a great tip. Instead of me skipping cutscenes, which is rather annoying.
Yeah, how does that work with Dark Souls? Or is that just not online on the Switch?
No, it must be to some extent.
It must be online.
I'm trying to think. I've definitely played other games. What was it? Oh yeah, so like Warframe. If you use the home button and it's paused for like more than a few seconds, when you go back in, it's like, "Hi, you've been logged out. Start again," which is a bit annoying. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if there's any way around it. Really.
Sure, daily Warframe sessions. Sure.
Yeah.
I bet you must be. Yes. But obviously, Sean doesn't leave it for more than 30 seconds. So
no, I never closed the game. So
no chance of that. It's too in the game.
But no, I've never seen Animal Olympics.
Unfortunately, no, sounds like we probably should.
Sounds good.
Thomas Lomafluff 42. James is so right about the quantum break disconnect between the characters and the casual mass murdering. Uncharted was the same. Massive kudos for James for showing restraint and not mentioning ludonarrative dissonance, as I bet his cane of rinse powder would automatically reach for that stinker. I was desperately trying to remember that word, and I was like, what is it? What was it? And I didn't say it because I would have only said something wrong, like... Well,
I don't know why that term gets such a bad rap, because it's a completely valid concept that is absolutely everywhere.
But it's also the kind of term that people use to try and sound like they're very intelligent.
Yeah, especially if you're like, well, there's lots of shooting and killing. Well, the ludonarrative dissonance is...
It's like in most cases you can just be like, oh, well, that's a bit jarring or whatever. Like, well, actually, I think you'll find that's a good example of ludonarrative dissonance. I know what you mean. But yeah.
But you are totally right, and I would have said that had I remembered what the actual word was. That's it for feedback. It's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter if you want to tweet your feedback or whatever you've got on your mind. And you can email podcast@thecomputergameshow.com.
Cool. James, have you ever listened to The Computer Game Show?
I have on occasion. Not every week,
for the listeners, it's just...
That's totally true as well.
It is true.
Yeah. For the listeners' sake, it's just this weekly podcast where like these three guys talk about like what games have been playing and stuff. It used to be four of them, and it was better then, to be honest. But
I don't know. I like the new lineup.
Yeah, it's all right. It'd be better when Dave's back, I think. Basically every week, this guy Sean does this news intro where he like comes up with like a funny scenario, and it's like a metaphor for how he wants this other guy James to deliver the news. But he's been doing it for a while now. It's been going on so long that he's sort of running out of ideas, and you can tell he doesn't really want to do it anymore. And it's like he's really running out of steam. So I was wondering if you could deliver the news in a way that, so as you get towards the end, it's just really like you're just absolutely fed up of doing it, and you just really sick of it. Really,
I think I can definitely deliver on that, Sean.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That'll definitely work.
Yeah, just make sure you don't sound fed up from the start, like normal. Try and like taper off. Try and start it towards the end.
Okay. It's been a terrible week for Twitch.
Hey!
Yeah. So a couple of bad things have happened this week. So after Ninja left Twitch for Mixer, visitors to his channel were redirected to other Fortnite streams. So that's kind of was the idea. However, what this meant is it meant that then the page became like an ad channel for stuff. And it turned out that this ad channel was then sort of promoting other streams, some of which were pornography.
Hey,
yeah,
amazing! Yeah. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously on one level that's quite funny. On another, I imagine he's got some fans that are quite young, and might not know about him going to Mixer, and so that's bad. But
also, I mean, it's supposedly like against Twitch's terms of service as well, isn't it? Like to have that kind of content on there, but that happened. So he asked them to remove the channel, and they've kind of partially complied, from what I can get from the moment.
Oh wow!
I mean, they've done that just by removing all advertising streams from it. So it's still there. It's just
I thought you were going to say now it's just softcore and you now see it, nothing comes off.
You don't see it going in.
It's still implied, It just goes blurry at that point.
Yeah. Some strategically placed, like plants and things like that.
No, strategically placed all like V-Bucks.
And then this Twitch CEO, he apologised and said it was all a bit of accident, and that the company were just trying out recommendations, like some algorithm or whatever, So that happened. That's not very good, I guess.
Interesting algorithm.
Yeah. They've also been criticised because there was another streamer called, is this like Alinity Divine? Have you heard about this?
Alinity, yeah.
Yeah, so she's been accused of dropping a racial slur on a stream, and then also for allegedly throwing a cat during a stream.
Well, no, it's not allegedly. She literally threw the cat
Matt, I'm trying to be even-handed here.
Okay.
I mean, you say allegedly. All this stuff was recorded and can be viewed on demand.
I mean, I've literally watched it when she threw the cat over her shoulders.
Did you see her spitting vodka into the cat's mouth?
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I didn't. I heard about it. Yeah.
But I mean, and also, the slur. I mean, I listened to that, and I've got to say, it sounded like she said that definitely when I heard it. But it allegedly said that. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. But then also, nothing has happened in response to this. The Twitch has done nothing about it, and then Dr. Disrespect was banned for just the 2 weeks, and so now people are sort of saying that Twitch gives sort of preference to popular streamers. They don't get in trouble for stuff. What do you think? I mean, is that right?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, it's totally a thing that is happening. Yeah, and it's and it's just a bit scummy, really, because they're like, well, we could ban them, but also they make us a ton of money, so
it feels
tricky,
like Twitch
isn't it?
have the same sort of compliance team as Twitter, and they just can't seem to do right. I mean, I felt like Dr. Disrespect was too big for the channel to ban him. I mean, 2 weeks is nothing. It's like when Premier League footballers are fined $100,000. That's half a week's salary. It's that's not going to make him do anything different at all. It's 2 weeks is basically here's a lovely 2 week holiday. I think Dr. Disrespect actually been banned previously for 30 days or whatever. And just like that time, when he came back this time, he had ridiculous amount of subs. People were in his channel for a couple of days before, because I think he said I'm coming back on Saturday or whatever it was. And people were just in his channel constantly subscribing. And it's I'm sure he's made his money back. 2 weeks is absolutely nothing. Give it 3 months. Give him real time to think about these things. 2 weeks is nothing. And it just feels like that they're just unable to deal with the big people in a way that makes sense. And if a small channel like us went against terms of service, I'm sure we'll be banned forever. It's just well they're the rules, but because if you're nobody or very, very small streamer, they can just get rid of you. It doesn't matter, but it'd be too much of a big PR move for them to get rid of Dr. Disrespect fully, especially now, obviously, in the light of Ninja also going to Mixer. It's just, it feels like it's one rule for one and one rule for everyone else.
Sean, don't spit Curiosity Cola into Mara's mouth when you're streaming.
Noted. I mean, she'd probably be all right with it, to be honest. She'd probably think it was funny.
Let's just not, just in case.
Well, yeah, look, why take the risk?
Exactly. I mean, I guarantee if we did that and someone reported it gone, the whole channel would be gone, and there'll be no Dr. Disrespect, film stuff in the bathroom. Well, it doesn't matter because,
I mean, to be fair, Twitch, they have banned bigger streamers. There was one called Pinkwald, I don't know who that is, who's for longer.
This is always the thing, isn't it? Whenever there's news about streamers, and I'm just like, who? I don't know who any of these people are.
No, well,
I said this last week, but yeah.
But
that's just me being old, it's fine. But
They do occasionally ban people like that, but I think, Matt, you're right. It's the same sort of thing that Twitter have as a problem, and any of those platforms where it's like, if we get rid of these people, they're bringing us a lot of money, from this. So we'd like that to continue.
Basically, some of the shit that I wasn't going to get political, but basically, some of the shit that Trump said, if any normal person said that, they would have been off the channel, but off Twitter. But it's different. Yeah, it's sad, and hopefully they'll get better at this stuff, but who knows?
Okay, next story is that Microsoft. Okay, so there's been a new. Okay, how am I supposed to pronounce this? Because I actually looked this up on the internet today. Because there's like American English pronunciation, British English pronunciation.
Well, you know all about that, James. So just do what you think's right.
I would say that this is a patent.
So would I.
A patent? No, I'd say patent.
So you'd say a patent. See, this is why I wonder. I think it might be a north-south thing as well, where maybe it's like because like you say, like Sean, how do you say grass?
Grass.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's what that is. It's the A, isn't it? It's the A sound. So yeah, Sean, say car park.
Car park.
Oh yeah, that did sound all right.
How else are you supposed to say car park?
Like car park.
I've heard people say it that way.
What? Like, how? How have you heard them say it?
I'm not doing it, Sean. I know what you're up to, Matt, but I'm not going to imitate. I'm not imitating
do not
people.
even know how they can pronounce it differently. Car park, car park. It's like
there you go. Just go to Bradford, and you can.
I think it's in the car park. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, bath, grass, etc.
Yeah. So anyway, a patent recently filed by Microsoft's
patent.
A patent. Yeah. Okay, so they filed a patent. It's not for a controller itself, but instead it's for this sort of charging device for what they are calling removable input modules. And so the modules actually look quite a lot like a controller that's clipped around your phone. So it's got speakers, headphone jack, wireless headphone support, the whole kind of thing. Eurogamer reckons this is for Project X Cloud games. Mm-hmm. This is the purpose of this. But I'm not sure about that, because how's that going to work if you're not connected to Wi-Fi? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I always, whenever people talk about things that are supposed to clip on your phone, I'm always my first thought is always, but all phones are a little bit different. So what's the plan for that? So I'm not really convinced.
I'm also not sure I'd want to do that either. It just feels a bit odd, doesn't it? Get your phone out, get your controllers out, and clip it on. It's a bit odd, really.
Would you rather do this or just have a Xbox pad in your bag all the times?
Neither.
Probably the latter, to be honest.
Yeah, if I had a big iPad Pro or a large Android tablet and xCloud's out, I would just rather have a pad. But if you want to play on your phone, and I don't know.
I'll tell you what I'd rather have. I would rather have a dedicated device for doing this rather than.
Well, yeah, but this is assuming that isn't an option.
They have a 100%, absolutely, definitely in-house built a dedicated handheld to test this stuff. I guarantee. But they just probably feel too expensive, or it's never going to make any money back. We don't want another Vita, but I can guarantee that they have built a portable Xbox in house. Because
really,
companies like this mock up and prototype every sort of possible device. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with all the xCloud stuff and Game Pass. I can almost guarantee, but I guess I feel like that's just maybe a step too far. But this feels like a bit of a crappy middle ground. But then they can't say, hey, everyone, well, I guess I could say, I'll just, take your iPad, take your tablet, that could be any manufacturer, maybe a Surface tablet, and then take your pad everywhere. It's not as elegant. I'm not sure this is either, really.
So it says, so both halves of the controllers connect to your phone via Wi-Fi to deliver a seamless gaming experience that's absolutely lag-free. So how's the phone connecting to the cloud then?
Well, no, because it must be. Surely I thought these would be connected via Bluetooth or whatever, and then
I bet these will be. It says connect to your phone. Oh, I thought they would be doing the Stadia thing where actually the little controllers connect.
So they connect to the router rather than directly to the phone.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I don't know. I just have no feelings about this whatsoever.
No, me neither. I do remote play stuff still quite often anyway.
You do, yeah.
But using just using PlayStation controller or whatever. But I don't know. But it still doesn't feel right. I still would prefer to have a dedicated device for this. This is why I still miss the Vita.
Yeah, but that isn't going to happen. So would you take this instead?
No, I'll just use my Switch.
Okay, well, say you can't play xCloud on Switch. Would you take this instead?
Show me something on xCloud that I'd actually want to play. Because at the moment there isn't.
Halo, the new Halo.
Quantum Break 2.
Yeah, Quantum Break 2, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously interested in xCloud. I've talked about it before, but I'm not actually sure how these sorts of things even fit into my lifestyle, but I'm excited to give them a go nonetheless. But I'm like, yeah, this is interesting, but like two halves of a controller to snap together, it's never going to feel as good as a regular controller, but hey, it'd be very, very interesting if this sort of stuff comes out, because this is like a sort of stupid bit of innovation that you rarely see from these big companies, like doing these like crazy things which aren't the norm. Like,
and I usually just see crappy third-party ones, don't you? That
so it'd be very
horrendous.
interesting to see someone like Microsoft saying, here's this crazy pad that sort of splits in two, but it can go on your phone or connects to your router. Like, I'll be well up for seeing some stupid innovation like this. So whether I use it or not is another matter entirely, but yeah, very interesting to see what happens. Because obviously, like, xCloud tests are starting later this year, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I wonder when we might start to see anything official like this.
Matt, have you still got your Stadia pre-order?
Yeah, I look at it every day in my inbox. Yeah, that's still good.
Can you still cancel it? They haven't taken the money yet.
I don't intend to, but
okay, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna love it, but I want to be there to try it out and see how the hell this thing works. You know, I just want to be there day one. You know, I'm an early adopter idiot, so I've got to be there to see it. But yeah, I've still got the pre-order. I haven't cancelled it. I'm probably not going to cancel it. Yeah. Which one of you lucky boys wants my friend pass? Or,
I was assuming you're going to invite us round for a party, to be honest.
We should do a launch special, shouldn't we?
Oh my god, we actually could.
Am I coming on Leeds for a launch special to play Assassin's Creed from last year?
I want to play Destiny 2. I've got to.
I want to play Guild.
3 games.
Actually, Guild does look right. I've still got Stadia pre-order. But xCloud isn't too far away. And actually, I think it's obviously Gamescom isn't far away, 20th of August. So maybe we'll hear more then.
Okay, I've got a little bit of other tiny controller news, and that's that there's been leaked this sort of design for the a Super NES controller for Switch. Like a Bluetooth kind of one. So that's good. I mean, I'm assuming that means there's going to be like SNES Online or whatever, isn't there? Rather than just
I hope
NES
so.
stuff.
I mean, would you refer to it as Super NES?
Oh, here we go. I don't want to get into this.
No, please do, because obviously on American podcasts, they never say SNES, they all say NES, don't they? They always say SNES.
Yeah.
Does anyone say Super NES? I think they do, don't they?
I mean, James just did.
See, I said two different variants there, I think. You did. I mean, okay. I'd probably say that the Super NES or the SNES, I'm not sure.
Super NES? Yeah, it's SNES all day long. But it's just funny in America where that clearly wasn't a thing, and they'd like SNES. It's like, it's SNES, mate. It's called SNES. Yeah. Super NES. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, this patent, definitely it says, SNES games are coming. So that's good, right? It's good. Would you buy a dedicated SNES controller for that? Or
I mean, probably not, because I'd be more tempted to get one of the 8-bit DOE ones, which basically look like a SNES controller, but they have dual analog sticks, and they work on the Switch, and they also work on basically anything else, like anything that uses Bluetooth, pretty much.
I bet they don't have Joy-Con drift either.
Exactly. They're actually well made, unlike Nintendo's recent hardware.
Mine's got worse. It's annoying.
Has it?
Yeah. I've got the contact cleaner. I need to do the job soon. To try and see if I can fix it.
Give it a blast. So yeah, I mean, and I'm guessing Nintendo will charge a shitload for this as well, to the point that actually the 8-bit DOE one probably isn't much more expensive.
And I think if this is definitely coming, which looks like it, 8-bit DOE may knock some money off theirs. So
maybe
even more incentive to go get that one.
Yeah, but yeah, the headline is more that we might be finally getting SNES games on Nintendo Switch Online, right?
Which would be very nice, because they've
very nice.
It's not that they've run out of NES games, but I don't think they've really banged in the way they were expecting them to. And,
nice.
And it's they've kind of run out of the really good ones.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
I'm surprised it's taken them this long, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I mean, do you remember? You remember with the Wii, and how they were still drip feeding those out.
That's true.
Yeah, it took them a very long time to get through all that.
And they've put some interesting stuff up, like the sort of weird ROM hacky stuff for Zelda and what have you. And that's quite interesting. But yeah, I'm just not a NES guy, unfortunately.
No. Okay. Next story is that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are going to require loot box disclosures. So, sorry, this is the ESA have said that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are all working on these new policies to require loot box odds disclosure. So this is going to be for new games, and if you have a game update that adds loot boxes later, you have to sort of do this, and it's going to be implemented by 2020. So. Still quite a long, maybe next year.
By the end of 2020, is that?
Yeah, which is, I mean, Apple did this in 2017 and Google have already done it as well. So it's just, I don't see why it has to take so long for them to do this. No. Maybe someone can explain.
It's the right thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Are they doing this because legislation is going to come in to force it? Are they doing it getting ahead of time, or do you reckon they've been told just get on with it now? Or?
I think they're trying to head off like further legislation, aren't they? By saying like we're being responsible, we're doing this, and haven't they already put like stickers on boxes and stuff? Have they done that yet?
I don't know.
No, I don't.
Because saying what like loot boxes in here.
Yeah, just like saying like this has loot boxes in it or whatever. I'm sure they had that as like being a category of like they have those like those like sort of
the categories on the back of the box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, possibly. Actually, a game. I think maybe Crash Team Racing got when they got like sort of the ratings on it, they got re-rated over, and it had another line saying that it might have like loot crate type things in it. But it didn't say it explicitly, but it said it was re-rated because it had other, and I think other counted in this category of, online loot crates or
other
loot crates.
Means gambling in this case.
Yeah,
but
in this case, but they're not going to say that in so many words on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it'll be good to good to see that. I see it's not on the news, but another bit of news is that Rocket League are removing all loot crates as well, aren't they? Oh no, they're removing all random loot crates.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going.
And which is interesting because they're doing that ahead of time. Like, I'm sure people are happy to do it, but I guess they just want to be part of a good PR story, don't they? Like,
I guess so, because a few games had already pulled them, hadn't they? I know, is it Shadow of War? And a couple of others. So I think they saw that things were changing.
Battlefront, but I guess the one with Rocket League, like they haven't pulled it completely. They just basically now you can see exactly what you're getting in them. So you can still buy these crates, but at least you can see all the stuff, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and Destiny 2 did the same thing as well.
Oh, really? So on Destiny 2, you can know exactly what you're buying now.
Yeah, so you used to just buy boxes with random stuff in. I can't remember if that's still an option, but yeah. So post Activision, the sort of premium store has completely changed so that you can just buy specific things now. So
interesting, cool. Yeah. Well, it feels like they're all slightly making changes to get ahead of any legislation or before being forced, I guess.
Yeah, if you want to get your gambling fix, just buy some of the some football cards or whatever. That's where the action is at.
I still can't believe last week you said like it's like gambling. Like that's.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying like you're basically saying that Panini Panini stickers are gambling. It's like
no, he didn't. I didn't say that.
Well, you pretty much did. You're like it's gambling, man. Didn't you?
No, we were talking about. Like foot cards and stuff, like how that's different to buying like physical ones, and how it is
because of the fact you can't buy like £10,000 worth of them, like in a very short period of time. I
still think you said it is a form of gambling.
I don't think so.
I think you've made that up, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, I listened back and I was like, that annoyed me hearing it a second time around. But maybe
you can just sit back and then play it back to me next week. How about that?
Maybe I didn't have a recording ready for this because I thought you disagreed with me, so that's backfired.
Okay. Okay, in more Loot Crate news, Loot Crate Inc. have gone bust.
Oh, where am I going to get my mouse mats now?
I don't know.
Where am I going to get my badges?
This is an interesting story because, I'm sure a lot of YouTubers are going to be really sad about this because, they get all those deals and everything they were doing. Maybe that's why they've gone bust. But so they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and they're planning to sell themselves. But, I was shocked to read the numbers here because they've got, 250,000 subscribers, but they owe those customers $20 million, in sales, and also $30 million in trade debt.
Jesus.
And also $5.87 million in sales tax. And they also owe Facebook $1 million, $500,000 to Marvel, and another $500,000 to MLB Advanced Media. So, yeah. And they've also let go of 50 people.
I was going to say, so they let go 50 people and they've still got 60.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously, we always say this, people losing jobs, it's always shit. I've never been into the whole Loot Crate thing.
No.
And I know they're not the only ones. There's absolutely tons of them now. I've just always I don't know.
Thought it was a scam?
Not that it's a scam. Just, I mean, okay, so on one level, I mean, for those who aren't aware, this is where you subscribe and they just send you a box with nerd shit in it.
A different theme every month. Yeah,
like, oh, here's some Zelda socks and a Game of Thrones keyring and a fucking, and for one, I hate the idea of just being like, just give me a box with nerd shit in it, because that's how predictable I am, and that's how
if it's nerdy, I'm gonna love it.
Just the idea of being that easily singled out and being like, and a company be able to go, here's just a box with shit that people like you will like in it.
People in your demographic love this shit.
Yeah. So I hate that. I also can't shake the fact that the only way this must work as a business is that if you are essentially, technically paying for things that you would not have bought otherwise. It wouldn't be a business model otherwise. So I've never liked these. And yeah, from the sound, by these numbers, it looks like they've been horribly mismanaged.
Yeah. See, I don't get it either. I mean, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't say begrudge anyone buying this stuff. If you want to do that, it's absolutely fine. I'm sure you get enjoyment out of it, but I don't particularly understand it. But yeah, it does look like it has been awful. I mean, it's got here. Apparently, it went bad because it was this company called Midtown Madison Management had loaned Loot Crate money, and then they withdrew the money because they're allowed to do this, and they'd loaned them $21 million. And then suddenly took it. And then it was this other company called Vantiv who were processing the credit cards, and they suddenly panicked and didn't want to get caught in the middle and be liable for refunds. So just stopped processing credit cards. And then it went downhill from there. But it's okay because all is not lost, because another company, which I couldn't believe this, it's called Money Chest. And they...
Wow.
They've bought Midtown. Midtown. I was going to say Midtown Madness. Midtown.
I thought you were going to say that first time.
Yeah, they bought Midtown Madison's debt, and they've created a new company called Loot Crate Acquisition to try and drum up interest to get another company to invest in it. So that sounds a bit,
Yeah, I just don't like these things.
Do they have? So this is a US company, isn't it? Do we have them here in the UK as well? I'm presuming we do.
Oh god, yeah. There's all sorts of them. There's My Japan Crate, which is just it's some sweets and some manga and
that sounds right up James's street. Actually,
Japan in it.
She loves that Japanese.
Pigeonholing me, Matt. You're just trying to
No, James,
you don't know me. You can't just
James, this month's theme was those booby mouse mats.
Where do I
sign up? I've mentioned Laser Time on here before. It's a pretty good podcast, and they used to do adverts for. It wasn't Loot Crate, but it was one of these. And I always used to fucking cringe to death every time they did it, because he'd always the special offer was, if you use this offer code, you'll get a free Star Wars item. And you're like, what the fuck is that? What does that mean?
You're just
going to be like, I fucking love Star Wars. I'll have anything with the Star Wars logo on it. Give me my Star Wars item that I have no idea what it is at all.
They know you well, Sean. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. They've got me pegged. I cannot get my head around it.
Is this a bad time to announce our latest sponsors, or?
I mean, if we were to start doing a Loot Crate for patrons,
just what on earth? But we
would actually curate I things to put in it.
Back now and get a free James Farley item.
I fucking love that guy. I
love James Farley. I wonder what they're going to give me related to James Farley.
Yeah. I hope it's a fridge magnet of his face.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. It's a picture of Simon Pegg.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, what else? Suggestions for a TCGS Loot Crate.
Let's not hearing those.
Okay, anyway, next story is FIFA 19 and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe are the best-selling games in Europe this year. So this was a bit weird because, FIFA 19, okay, I get that. But I was kind of surprised to see that New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is also one of the best-selling games. I think it's number one. I think it's number two, on the chart.
That is, yeah. I mean, on the one hand, I feel like I shouldn't be surprised by it because, the thing with Nintendo games and Mario games in particular is they always have a really long tail on them. So even if they don't, shoot up the charts in week one, they will just keep going for, way longer than most of the games do. Most of the games, whatever you sell in, the first month is kind of it. Whereas with Mario games, this is why, we always say, always buy Nintendo games physical because they always hold their value.
Yeah.
Because they're always in demand. More so than most other games. So, yeah, shouldn't be that surprised. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe isn't... I couldn't even tell you when it came out. I wasn't even sure it was this year.
It was definitely earlier this year, but I couldn't say when it was. I mean, it's really good. It's a very good game, but I was still surprised that it beat out other things because, GTA 5 is still in there. That's in the top 3.
Well, speaking of GTA 5, GTA 5 is the best-selling game of 2019 in the UK.
Wow.
It was at least 6 years ago. It's the best-selling game this year. I noticed we haven't had a massive start of the year, but that's the best-selling game this year. It's insane.
It is insane. When you understand that, of course it's GTA, of course it sold millions, whatever, but it's still finding new people to buy it.
I guess GTA Online's done that. It felt like it was a new GTA Online pack, so I'll buy the game.
Yeah.
It makes some sense because I think at the time when that got announced, or maybe it's over, but basically it has been spoken about. Why not make GTA Online a separate free download? No way. Clearly people are buying the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, for GTA Online, obviously the game itself is amazing, but no, why would you make that free download when just get people to keep buying GTA 5? It is insane. They never need to make another GTA. I mean, hopefully they will, but my God.
Yeah, absolutely. Financially, it definitely makes way more sense to just keep adding stuff to GTA
Well, what
Online,
What else is in the chart then, James?
I mean, the only other stuff that sort of has been persistent has been Red Dead Redemption 2. That's still going.
Makes sense.
Days Gone has also stuck in there for quite a long time.
It's
Minecraft,
a classic.
Yeah, it is a classic. Yeah, Minecraft, obviously, that's still doing. And Mario Kart 8 is also still in the top 10. Yeah.
Speaking of Minecraft, this wasn't in the news either because it wasn't massive. But I think 2 years ago, I think it was E3 2017 on Microsoft stage, they announced the super duper graphics pack for Minecraft. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, no, they cancelled that, didn't they?
Yeah, they cancelled that because basically it had amazing light, a different graphic style, cool lighting, etc. And basically they've cancelled it because it said it basically. Well, they couldn't maintain performance across all its platforms. Obviously, Minecraft is on everything, so...
Right, yeah, so the Switch wouldn't handle it, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a shame, because obviously if you're playing on PC, you can just mod it, and you can add these things anyway, and it looks great. It's fascinating, because the fact that it's all, made up of massive cubes suddenly doesn't seem to matter so much anymore when the lighting is really realistic and there's cool rain effects and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that stuff's actually really nice. It's a shame they've binned that for the console versions, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, last story is Anthem related.
Hey, is it brilliant now? Have they fixed it?
Well, this is it, because you see, I'm not sure how to cover this because without it sounding just mean-spirited.
No, we would want that now, would we, James?
No, we've got to be fair to it.
Speaking ill of Anthem, it's not like you.
So, the thing is, right, it's Cataclysm is now out, and that's supposed to be the first end game activity that has been promised, and as part of the roadmap, which is definitely still happening. Yeah. And the feedback to it has been kind of mixed. Forbes ran this article which just said, Cataclysm is better than you'd think, probably not as good as the game needs. And then Kotaku just said Cataclysm update wasn't worth the wait. And, the main criticisms they make are that it's, the content contains these, really sort of obtuse puzzles and boss fights that feel like rehashes of earlier content. And that although there is these, new areas to explore, they've got this, time limiter mechanic that means that you then don't have time to, look around and, look at stuff. And that the whole experience feels kind of hollow. And I guess that's probably because the game, one of the things that Forbes said was that it, really relies on, the teamwork, but because the community is not that large, it's a bit difficult to, get people around, to play, together, and, nobody's using microphones and stuff like that. So if you're trying to solve puzzles, that makes it a bit kind of impossible.
Yeah.
But no, that's about it, really, isn't it? I looked up today because I was just curious to see what the statistics were for it on Twitch. And, I mean, it's currently the 415th most popular game on Twitch with an average of 114 viewers. So if you look at that by contrast, like Destiny 2 is at number 20 and they're getting an average of like 8,380 viewers. And even like Warframe is at like 49 with an average of like nearly 2,500 viewers.
Even Warframe?
Yeah.
Was that supposed to mean, James?
Sorry,
it's a classic.
It's very good. I mean, even until this is what the thing. I mean, even Until Dawn is higher in the charts than Anthem. It's at like 287. It's got
is Quantum Break higher than Anthem?
Almost certainly it is. Yeah, I mean, I should have checked that. This sounds like
a great sort of like Price is Right. Farley's Price is Right, higher or lower game.
Yeah, what's higher or lower than Anthem? I mean, not much.
The thing is, right. It's still heartbreaking because I'm looking at the story you've linked to, and I'm looking at the screenshots.
Yeah.
And it looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm so into everything that it appears to be.
Yeah.
And yet...
I mein, that's what they said, particularly about like the armor design and everything. It looks really good. Like, there's a lot of really good... I mean, somebody said, it'd be really good if like Destiny... Like, if Bungie picked up like some of these designers, to like design some stuff, because it looks great.
Yeah, sure.
But it's just that the core mechanic-wise, it's still not very good. But it just feels like, I mean, I don't know, because, I mean, just looking at those Twitch figures, it just makes you think that this does feel like it's too late in it, really, now. I can't see how this, like, breaks back in. I mean, but I mean, Bungie did it, didn't they, with Taken King? Like, that was, but then there was already a massive audience
They did,
there.
but Destiny Year 1 was never as broken as Anthem is.
Yeah.
Like, it was fundamentally enjoyable. The issues with it were around like everyone agreed the shooting was good fun. It was the mission structure and the grinding and stuff that was a bit much.
Yeah.
Whereas with Anthem, I think the problems are much deeper than that. So, don't know. It's not looking good, is it? I mean, we said in a year it could be amazing. We're now halfway into that. And it's just not even clear what they're planning on doing with it now, is it? So they've added the Cataclysm, which is now the end of the roadmap, pretty much.
Well,
is that right?
Well, no. They've still got things... I mean, they've still got placeholder images there for what's coming next.
But there's no dates or anything, is there? And they haven't sold, like, season passes, but these updates were meant to be free, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's one good thing about this, is, like, nobody can feel... Well, do you think people can feel shortchanged by this?
Probably. I think people will say, well, I bought this because I thought I was getting a year's worth of free updates.
No one did buy it, though, did they? So,
well, no, everyone just played it on Game Pass. Sorry, EA Access, whatever. I mean, it's definitely not as bad as if they'd sold season passes. But then it also just makes it way more likely that EA might just kill it.
What do you think, Matt? Are you still confident that they're going to be fully supporting this?
Well, as the days go on, I'm less confident. But I mean, right now it's like no one playing it. This has come out. There's no fanfare. Oh, it's sad, isn't it? I still think they will, but it'll be like a ridiculously small team, and they'll keep it going for a year, and then it'll just disappear. I think it looks like it's beyond redemption now, which is really sad, because at least with other games we've talked about in the past, Siege, Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny and other games, there was constant communication between the team and the community, constantly saying we're doing this, that and the other. This feels like it's like radio silence. They've got this out of the way. I don't know where they go from here.
See, I'd love to know how many people at BioWare are still working on this as well. Like, how many have been moved off onto other stuff now?
I bet loads of them working to get this Cataclysm stuff out, and now it's just...
Yeah. And it is, it's just shit, because obviously all the people that have worked on this game, the vast majority of them just wanted to make a good game and have done everything they could, and it's just... Yeah, it's just the way it's been managed and the lack of direction that's killed it. And I can't even imagine what it's been like to continue working on this after release and to have to put this extra stuff out. Like, how do you go into work just being like, oh, everyone thinks we suck, but we've got to crack on anyway? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it must be soul destroying going to work with that every day.
I mean, it's also a shame because it's like, I mean, okay, there is Warframe maybe, but what is another alternative for Destiny?
The Division?
Yeah. maybe, yeah, I'd say maybe the Division, but
definitely the Division. How is that not?
In terms of like structure about like how the way the game works. But what I mean is in terms of like theme and style and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like what's sort of sci-fi. Yeah, I mean it's basically there's probably others, but yeah, Destiny and Warframe are the only like massive viable ones, I think.
Yeah, I think there is room for more than one. Like in that sort of space, it's a shame that. I mean, I just think what happened here is the launch was just awful, wasn't it? And that it kind of that killed it really from the beginning. Was there was the constant stuff, wasn't there, about like how it's crashing and stuff like that, and people couldn't get into games and all that. And I think it just turned people off, and then nobody went back to it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sad.
And that's
Poor
it.
Anthem.
Yeah,
that's it. No more news.
No.
What have we been playing? Would you guys like to talk about Fire Emblem? Because I haven't played anything else this week. That's
okay. You're still hammering Fire Emblem, are you, Sean?
Yeah, man.
I saw on your Switch you're like 50 plus hours now. It might have even gone up since I last
I'm on the last mission. Well, it has now several times acted like I'm on the final mission, but I do think I actually really am this time.
Fantastic.
I was saying last week that like the difficulty was finally starting to ramp up.
Yes.
Nah, it's still embarrassingly. No, it's not embarrassingly easy. As I say, I'm still enjoying like being as efficient as possible, and I'm still enjoying like, even though I do feel a bit overpowered, there's still joy in like being as overpowered as possible, if that makes sense. But like it's now got to the point so that the last few like story missions, like each month you have like a couple of weeks at the school and then you do a story mission at the end. I've just been like doing like the auto tuition thing where it's just teaching people whatever, because I'm just like, it does not matter at this point.
I've been doing that from the start.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. It's worth doing to begin with. I'm just like, okay.
It's got a lot of work. To be honest.
Yeah, it's good though. It's you're supposed to get involved. You're supposed to figure out like what people need and what skills they need.
That's the thing, because it's just, I don't know. I started doing it for some of them, and then it's just there's a lot. I don't know. I didn't want to get into doing that.
I know. Yeah, I can see because that's sort of why the motivation system works, because the motivation system means not everyone is going to be up for being taught extra stuff every week, so that sort of narrows it down a bit. But I know what you mean. There's like tons of people, and you're just like, well, I don't know, who do I pick? But yeah, so I've basically stopped doing that at this point. When I was gearing up for one of the big final battles, for the first 3 weeks, I just rested on Sundays, so just had a nice sleep every week. And then on the 4th week, I had 8 consecutive meals with my students.
But they were loving that.
Yeah, it was great. Man, sitting down and eating meals with your students is an amazing way to get their support levels up.
Yeah,
they absolutely love it. But yeah, no, I'm still obsessed with it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go straight back in on New Game Plus. Although I should try and play like something else in between. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really excited about playing it on a harder difficulty and having to think a little bit more about it. But how are you guys finding it?
Well, I mean, I'm really, really enjoying this now, because I sat down to to understand everything and that, and there's an awful lot of micromanagement in this game, which I was expecting because it has been like that before, but it feels like more so in this game. I don't know why, because with the conversations, because you got like the what's called the conversations that you have that are like support conversations, but then as you wander around and talk to everybody as well, there's all that stuff. Yeah, that's all new, isn't it? Because that wasn't in Awakens, was it?
No, not at all. Yeah, so it sort of shows you on the map like who you've not talked to yet that particular week, and it's often just like rubbish. Oh, not rubbish. We say that they might like be talking about the the next mission or whatever. Yeah. Some of it's just like stupid jokes and stuff, but it's fine. Like especially if you know the characters you like. Yeah. Like, you'll make a point of being like, oh shit, there's Raphael. I'm going to talk to him or whatever. So yeah, it's fine.
See that's what I've been enjoying so far, because I've been playing. Oh, what's the name? I'm in the Blue House. I've forgotten their name.
The Alliance?
No, the Blue House is the Kingdom. Yeah.
Isn't it the Blue Lions? I can't remember.
Blue Lions, sorry. Yeah.
So, I mean, I like most of the people in that house I quite like, actually. And it's been quite interesting to see them, like, their characters develop over the time. And, like, some of them, there's this one character called Felix in particular, who's just an arsehole, like, to everybody. But it's quite interesting to see how that's going. It's which is pretty good. I mean, I think I do sometimes, I feel in the beginning that some of the battle, like, some of the mechanics could have been explained maybe in a better way. Yeah. But then I did quite enjoy then suddenly figuring things out that made things easier that I didn't realise you could do. Like, I mean, I didn't realise for probably at least the first 5 hours or so how, like, when you're attacking something, you can, like, change all the settings and everything, like, at that moment as well.
Oh, yeah, sort of switching weapons and combat techniques and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't feel that was probably explained. It probably was. Maybe I wasn't paying attention or whatever. But yeah, it was good when I figured that out. But I mean, I loved the dialogue in this as well. I mean, the story stuff is interesting. Yeah, but there is a lot of it though. Is the thing. It's like there's an awful lot of dialogue here. A lot to get through, but it is generally mostly interesting.
It's has Chen shouted at you for playing this? Because Nu absolutely hates it when I have it on the TV, and I can see why. Because if you're not really paying attention, like so many of the the cutscenes, or not necessarily cutscenes, but story bits, because I'm reading faster than they're saying the lines. I'm just skipping through it.
Yeah.
And it's just like loads of like half lines of dialogue, and then click, 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 and it's.
Are you guys not doing like the automatic dialogue thing then? Because I do
some like if there's a scene that is actually pretty good. I mean, they're all fine. But yeah, like if there's like an especially good bit, I'll just let it play on auto mode. But often I will just sort of click through. Yeah.
I've played it on the TV a bit. I mean, I remember like Chen walked in while there was a tea party going on once, and she just looked at it, just gave me a withering look, and just walked out of the room. Just.
Because have you seen what happens when you get a perfect score on the tea party?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
you can kind of just like look them up and down.
Yeah,
which is a bit weird.
It is. Yep,
but yeah,
it's fine.
Is it?
But it has. But it does have that usual thing though with like strategy games like this, which it's like that whole you can really lose hours to it as well. Like just. Yeah. I mean, even those like short missions that are like sort of like the prologue ones that you get, which they only take probably like 15-20 minutes or so, but it feels
the paralogue ones.
That's what paralogue ones. Yeah.
They're really good because they're like your Mass Effect friendship missions, aren't they? Where they like so they're all like focused on a particular ally or whatever, and you usually get something really cool for doing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're great.
It is also, but you're right though about it being easy. Like, I mean, I'm playing it on casual, like normal or whatever, and it is. Yeah. I've not had to restart any battle. Like, there's not been anywhere where I felt up against it or anything.
Yeah, because if it was, I'm playing it on normal / casual, and I'm finding it easy because I'm just letting people die left, right, and centre, then I'd be like, well, hang on, maybe that's sort of my fault. But it's not even that. Like, I'm not losing anyone.
Yeah,
at all.
It's quite rare for someone to die, like in my one, which is which is some ways nice because I mean I'm enjoying this for the story, but also for the for some of the. I mean but I don't feel like tactically this kind of like stretches you, at least in normal or casual mode, as like something like Advance Wars does. Where it like really feels like you're sort of trying to figure out like the different like permutations of like the battlefield. You don't really get that.
Yeah. No, and as I was saying the other week, it's the fact that like the AI looks really stupid a lot of the time, like as well as the stats being in your favour. Sometimes the enemy will just do stuff where you're like, well, that doesn't make sense, or like I left my healer completely exposed and they just didn't bother, or they ran in one direction and then just ran back again the next turn, and it's like, what is happening? But again, so I'm really intrigued to go back on hard mode, whatever they call it, and
to see if that improves. Yeah,
because like don't get me wrong, like Awakening is really unforgiving and quite off-putting at first. Like, there's somewhere between the two is probably the sweet spot for new players. But yeah, I mean, Matt, how are you finding the difficulty? Because you're a legit newcomer. So
I'm finding it fine so far. I mean, after you mention it on last week's show about putting the difficulty up, I think I've been it's been more obvious that I haven't really been struggling, but I don't want to like push it up and then suddenly struggle and it sort of take my enjoyment out of the game. But
absolutely.
You said you can knock it up, but you can't knock it down. Is that correct?
No, the other way. You can knock it down, you can't knock it up.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, okay.
Yeah, so... Which again, if it had told me that, I might have been like, well, all right, let's try on hard then and see how we go, and then if it's too much, I can change it. But yeah.
Well, when you like finish this and then go to like another, is it like New Game Plus, or do you literally just like it's like you start again, or do you know how it works?
New Game Plus, and it's like you start from scratch in terms of your units and stuff, but like certain things carry over, I think, and you can spend those renown points on just like I think you're like on increasing skills and stuff. So you can sort of fast forward through. Would you be able to do a second story on harder difficulty? Is that what you're able to do? Yeah, I think you can anyway. Or if not, cool. I'll just start.
And that's definitely what you're planning, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I'll see how I feel by the end of it. I certainly want to try it on a harder difficulty, but I also don't want to give up another 50 odd hours of my life. So we'll see.
But yeah, because it's also I think when you do it, you get like your professor level. I think that retains the level that you're at, I think, from that.
Okay, that makes sense, because like I'm at the end of the game and I'm like B+, and that's like actively trying to raise it. So yeah, don't know.
See, I don't know how far I'm through. I mean, I've been playing for about 20 hours probably now, but I'm not. Okay. I'm not sure how far I am.
You're still in part 1 then, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game for a while I was like, how fucking long is part 1? But part 2 is like a big deal. So basically, I think the game is just 2 parts. But yeah. So I'm like hour 50 odd and appear to be at the end of it, which is interesting because we'd heard it was supposed to be 80 hours.
But is that maybe 80 hours including like playing it with other houses as well?
No, it's 80 per house. That was a big story.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, like
that's weird because I looked up on how long to beat and it said 30 hours. Like.
Oh, right.
Which is
odd. To be fair, you probably could, like, because I for a while I was doing a lot of side stuff, and it's only towards the end of the game I'm like, actually, I don't really need to now.
Yeah, I was about side stuff. Like, how essential do you think that is?
Well, hang on, I'm just looking here. I was wrong. It wasn't 30 hours. It's 40 hours for the main story, and then main plus extra is 51 hours. So that's probably what you're actual. Like, if you're doing like extra stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, playing it on hard difficulty will extend that. Because it will be worth doing more of those extra skirmish battles and stuff, and you will spend longer in individual battles. So there's one fight you do in part 2 where you're taking a fortress, and it does this whole thing where it's like, there's like all these like 6 different points on the map where enemy reinforcements are going to come from. So you need to like get your units over to them and block them basically to stop enemy units spawning. You're like, all right, fuck, this is really cool. Within 3 turns, I just flew 2 of my guys over to the enemy general and took him out, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I like in that time, I'd blocked like one of these 6 entrances and was just like, why put that in if you're going to make it this easy to just So. And as I've said previous weeks, I don't want to sound like I'm moaning about it being easy because I think all games should have that option. It's just a shame that it is badged as normal and not, it's just the way it's communicated is not really helpful. But
but I haven't played it as much as I'd like to this week. I'm probably on about like 8 or 9 hours into it. But I'm still really enjoying it. I still feels obviously it's quite. Overwhelming it feels like there's a lot I need to remember. I probably don't actually need to like remember every single thing I read, but it's like you read so much about these systems, that systems, but actually when it comes to the battles, it's not actually as complicated as all the text that precedes it makes out at all.
Totally. Like I think, sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, it feels a lot like the normal difficulty is not just the fights are easier, but it's kind of admitting that like. It's like, you're not going to take in everything on your first go because it's like because there's so many weird little systems at play that it's sort of maybe expecting you to not take full advantage of them, and therefore, like your units aren't going to be quite as strong or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like in terms of the side system we mentioned a bit ago, how essential do you think that is, or is that just to maybe like increase your like professor rank and whatnot?
So the stuff that increases your professor rank, there's ways of like, because you can teach your students and increase their skills, but also you can go to like other professors in the college and get taught by them as well, and that's quite important to like keep your skills like up as well. And obviously, it's quite cool the way that like it's sort of worth you learning skills that you might not necessarily use, because then that gives you a bonus when you're teaching other people those skills. And obviously, and if you're raising, trying to raise like a diverse, varied army of all different unit types, like it's sort of worth like your main character being like a jack of all trades. So that's pretty interesting. But no, I mean, it's not essential. As I say, I've paid attention to a lot of that stuff and I've made use of it. And it's to the point that in the final mission, I'm just waltzing through and it's just not been a problem. So probably don't worry about it too much.
Okay, cool.
And if you want to do another run, like then you can get really into the all the systems and stuff. But
yeah, what story? What house are you going to do next?
I honestly don't know, because I've got reasons for wanting to do both, due to like certain events later on. I can't really say without spoiling, unfortunately. But yeah, just I am very intrigued about how the other houses play out, because I was saying like initially they all seem, it's like, oh, it's just like pick a team and then that's that just dictates which people you start with, and you can kind of hide, you can recruit the others anyway. But no, it has like massive ramifications later on. So
yeah, because cool. I think the Black Eagles have like the shortest story apparently. At least that's what I told on Twitter. So
interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
But still enjoying it. So what else are you playing, James?
Well, I'm still playing Judgment, and I'm nearing the end now. I think, because I think I'm on chapter 11, and I looked online and there's 12, but then there's also like an epilogue thing at the end. But I think probably hopefully we'll finish it maybe by next week, because I mean, I don't want it to end because it is brilliant, but also I kind of do want it to end because I'd like to play something different now, because it's been like so many weeks. But yeah, it's still great, and what it's done with the story in these last like 2 chapters has been very interesting, in terms of like presenting people in a sort of more sort of multi-dimensional way that you don't normally get. I think probably even less so from Yakuza games than you did with this one. So yeah, it's very good. Still enjoying that. But the other thing I've been playing is Until Dawn. So I started streaming this on Friday last week, and I'm really loving it. It's this is not what I expected, to be honest, because I mean I've had like several months now of playing games which have not been fun at all, like really to stream. I mean, I streamed
by your own choice. Just to be clear,
not all of them.
Yeah.
No, one of them was by my own choice. That was Quantum Break.
Right.
That was a bad choice because there's a lot of a ludonarrative dissonance there.
I've heard that. Yeah,
it's not a great game. And then also there was Deadly Premonition, which was interesting, but also quite a slog to sort of get through. But this is the first one where I felt relaxed playing it as well, in the sense of I don't feel like I'm struggling against like bad controls or anything like that. It's just much more enjoyable to sort of play through, and it's not. Although, I mean, obviously it is a horror game, and I wasn't really aware what it was, before I started playing it. But it's just
it's the big skull on the box, not a clue.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I wasn't expecting it to be. It's this perfect mix of like absurd and suddenly funny, but then also the jump scares, and I just love the tone of that. It's just it feels like it does to me feel like it is a bit more intentionally funny and more self-aware than the Cage games. Like that they know this is ridiculous. And it's also just like you got all these like teenagers, and they're just also like permanently horny, and it's just which is horrible, and it's just like it's like completely like unbelievable really like what's going on, but also very funny. And it's just the other thing that I've loved about it is that so many times during that stream I was like, can I do like whatever? And then it presented me with the opportunity to do something which was like horrific, and then I got the chance to do it, which was quite funny. I mean, when I shot that squirrel, I was not expecting that at all.
I mean, that was weird. Like the way it gives the little close up of all its fucking brains being blown out.
It's like spread out all over the place, and then it's just. I mean, I was having a coughing fit while I was going on because it was quite funny. While like the woman there is just like shouting at you for being horrible because you just killed it, and it's like that's fair enough. That was a horrible thing to do. But also, I mean, there was also the thing where it was like trying to teach you the systems, and it's like saying like sometimes doing nothing is the best thing to do. And then like there was a bird there, and I got to throw a snowball at it. And I was like, I've got to see what happens if I do, and it blew knocked the bird out. It's like, I mean, people were saying it was dead, but I reckon it was just concussed. It was.
Whatever,
it was. Yeah. But the jump scares are really good in this. I mean, normally I'm not bothered by them at all, but they really do like get it like to the point where it doesn't feel obvious that it's coming. Like in quite a few like occasions, and they made me jump.
I've seen the clips. Yeah. I always took you as a guy who would never get done by a jump scare, but you fell off. You almost fell off your chair in like such a comedy over the top fashion. It's like you're like, whoa.
No, because it's a couple of those times it really did like make me jump. Honestly, like,
we could see that
when the Wolverine came out of this like thing. I was not expecting that at all, and it happened quite a few times. But also they do that really cliched, obvious thing of like having somebody like appear behind you or whatever, and every time that like freaked me out. Every time that I saw that, it's but it's. I mean, I'm enjoying this more because I feel like I want to try it and sort of get into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's enjoyable to play, because it's silly but funny in a good way, I feel like I want to try and like engage myself in the story and like engage myself and let myself, sort of get scared by stuff and things like that. Because it feels like it's worth doing that. Whereas a lot of the other games, I never really felt that at all. It just felt, really poorly put together. But so I'm really enjoying this. I can't wait to get back to it on Friday. And that's the first time I felt like that about streaming for a very long time, where it's just like, I can't wait to play again because it was just fun. It's just fun to go. I mean, Sean, have you actually played this? I can't remember.
I haven't, no. I'm like, I know people who've really enjoyed it, and I was sort of glad to hear that they did, because, when they first showed it and everyone was like, all right, so it's like if David Cage did a horror film, yawn, but it's an intentional like genre piece, isn't it? It's not just. It's not like it knows what it's doing. It's not it's easy to watch it and be like, all right, it's all quick time events, and but it's all like intentional. And as you say, there is a certain very specific tone that they seem to have nailed with it. Yeah. In that it is kind of ridiculous, and it's
there's this bit at the start which, I mean, I was cracking up because of this, because it's just so inappropriate and like ridiculous. Where, I mean, I can spoil it because it's right at the start. Like, where there's this girl who gets like she's in love with this guy, and she goes to like his room to like to meet him because he said like, you can come and meet me there, and she's like starting to take her clothes off, and then there's like people like under the bed like watching what's going on, and then she freaks out and realizes what's going on. Somebody emerges from like a closet with like a GoPro and like who's like filming the whole thing. It's just like, and it's like awful. It's like absolutely appalling. But then they're just like going, "Oh, it's just a prank. Like, what's your problem? It's just a prank." It's like that dude's got a GoPro. It's like, that's not a prank. But
I mean, we're going to have to. I know I've mentioned it the other week, but I've got Hidden Agenda, which was the game they went on to do after this, and it uses the play link. So you like, so it's like co-op, but you all use your phones, and it's the whole point is, I think there's a straight up co-op mode, and then there's another mode where you each have like different motives, and you kind of screw each other over. And it sounds amazing. So next time we actually meet up, we need to try and play that. But
I mean, I've also heard that there's a VR, but not VR version of this, but there's like a VR prequel or whatever to this, which may be worth looking at. Which I might do after I've done this one, because I mean,
what Rush of Blood?
Not Rush of Blood. No, there's another one. There's something else, which it's not a shooter or anything like that. This is another like narrative game, because it was CJ from the Play One podcast was telling me about it. It's like what was the name? Let's have a look. It's what's it called? Oh, it's called so this is called The Inpatient.
I've heard of that game. I wasn't aware that was a prequel.
Yeah, no, it's Neither. It definitely is. Yeah, it says The Impatient is a psychological horror video game developed by Supermassive Games, and for VR. So I think I might have to do that one after I've done this, because I've also never streamed a VR game, so that could be quite funny. It's so that looks good.
Cool.
But yeah, it's great. Nice. I'm really enjoying it. Can't wait.
Nice one. Matt, have you got anything else?
So I played, as well as playing a little bit of Fire Emblem, I've also played Moonlighter.
Oh yeah.
So Moonlighter, it's out on basically every single platform known to man. When this was like revealed, or I think it was shown off for maybe an indies show or something similar, I was like, this looks right up my street. It's like sort of it's like a pixel arty sort of top-down roguelite type game. So this looks fantastic. And then when reviews came out, they were sort of 70s and 80s, and maybe I was playing other things at the time, and I was like, okay, well, it's not a solid 9 or 10. I will, I'm not like desperately gonna rush out and get this, but I was looking for something to play, and I went on Game Pass, and it's on Game Pass, so I've been playing it, and this is extremely my shit. To the point now where I've only played maybe like 3 or 4 hours, but I'm gonna have to buy it on Switch, I think.
Well, this was because it's on Game Pass on PC as well, and I was like, I do really want to play it, but I know if I like it, it's going to have to be a Switch purchase.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Game Pass. Obviously, I did that whole pay £1 and it upgrades all your stuff. So it feels like Game Pass now feels free. Obviously, I've spent all the money on Live, but I haven't spent any money on it yet. But I feel like this is a game I need to have on Switch so I can play it more and play it not just in front of the Xbox, in front of the TV. But Moonlighter is like it's extremely my shit for a number of different reasons. Now, a lot of the games I've enjoyed recently, games like Stardew Valley, games like My Time at Portia, I'm sure there's been others, that they've combined like two key things of like combat, and then also, well, in Stardew Valley's case, like farming. And in My Time at Portia's case, it's construction. Now, this does that as well, but this combines both combat, but dungeon crawling. It's all like roguelite. It's like it's classed as a roguelite game. Now,
okay,
that's I guess it's just like a roguelike, but not quite as hardcore. Is that actually like a subgenre I'm not familiar with?
Yeah, and I've never been 100% clear on the difference between a roguelike and a roguelite. As you say, I think it is just. It's got that structure, but it's not quite as intense or as in depth.
Yeah. So what this does is you play this guy. I think it's called Will, and he basically runs or works in a shop called the Moonlighter. But he, as well as working in a shop, he has like dreams of becoming like basically like going into dungeons and defeating the monsters and enemies there. So in the day, you work in the shop. And in the shop, you sell items. People come in and buy them. They have like expressions over their heads when they walk in. Maybe when they're looking at an item, if they're happy, they're like they're happy with the price and they're going to buy it. If they're unhappy, maybe the price you're selling this item at is too much. And then so you sort of learn that this game basically has its own economy. And you can look at your notepad for like notes of people that come in. So okay, this item's too expensive, so maybe you should price it lower. Also, you also see how many of the items I think are on the market, and if there's like absolutely shitloads, then you need to make the price of this item really, really low. But essentially, your day job is to work in the shop, sell all these items, and then when the shop shuts, you then go to dungeons and kill monsters and get loot. And actually, what happens is the loot and the stuff you get in those dungeons. You also get like gold and currency and stuff. You can basically all the items you collect, you then sell in the shop next day. Cool. So it's really cool because the stuff you sell in the shop, you use that money to potentially like upgrade stuff, and then stuff you get in the dungeons, you can use those items to sell, get more money, upgrade stuff. So it's really like intrinsically linked. In say like a game like Stardew, you can just spend the entire time fishing or farming or whatever. There is the dungeon element, and if you want to get more things to upgrade or more currency, it's wise to do both. In My Time at Portia, again, you could spend all your time doing constructing, but this feels much more intrinsically linked. That the two really do dovetail nicely. You feel like I've done the shop stuff, now it's dungeon shop. So it's much more intrinsic in that regard, but. You basically meet loads of people in this sort of open world area before you go into dungeon. They might ask you for certain items that they want you can get for them. So you again go to dungeons, get stuff for them. There's like mini quests in that regard. You can upgrade your tools, and you can get things like. So every time you go into to a dungeon, it's like. You go into a screen, you've got to kill all the enemies on that screen before you can go out of that screen through a door to the next part of a dungeon. I think it's like 3 floors and a boss. Every time you go into a dungeon, it's different, but you can get upgrades as like this portal thing, which basically means you can leave the dungeon and come back and it's the same layout, which sort of helps. But yeah, I've only played only a few hours, but I know I absolutely need to buy this on Switch, and I'll probably end up doing that this week because I want to, even though it means starting again, I just want to have this on my machine. I want to like play it wherever, because I think much like a Stardew or my time at Portia, I'm going to want to put a lot of time into this. But it's weird how these games that I really just get a massive kick out of are combining things like combat and this other more remedial tasks like fishing or gardening or working in a shop. In this case,
it's it's like we've said the last couple of weeks. Like talking about Fire Emblem and Judgment and stuff. It doesn't even have to be that every single activity is amazing. It's just the fact that it changes things up on a regular basis.
Yeah,
and that's enough to keep you going.
And it enables you to focus on different things. Like in Stardew, I loved farming, but this it feels like it's less like that. It really is like these are two halves of the game. You can't just ignore one side. I guess maybe you could, but it feels like the two are really intrinsically linked. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really glad that I've played it, even though I fell off it a bit. I guess because the review scores weren't mind blowing and. Even at the time, I was like, it's a shame, but other things to play, and I didn't get back to it. But thanks to things like Game Pass, I got it, and I'm definitely going to buy this on Switch because this is extremely my shit. Which now apparently my shit is just remedial task and dungeon crawling, I guess.
I can't wait for you to actually become a farmer in real life.
But also find dungeons somehow to
What would you farm, Matt? What would be your crop of choice?
The first thing that came into my head when you said that were pumpkins. I think that's a Stardew thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It wouldn't have to be crops. You could do animals.
I haven't thought about it. Chickens and pigs and pumpkins.
I think ostrich would be good.
Ostrich farming.
Meat.
Yeah. So grow ostriches.
Very lean, protein-rich.
Yeah.
Ostrich meat.
Also, you can do ostrich racing, can't you? That's how you have a revenue
sideline. Yeah.
Because what I've noticed around farms, after basically going around 1,000 farms every weekend with my daughter and wife, is like every farm now has had to like expand, haven't they? If you go basically like a farm's, back in the day, like that's just where livestock and stuff about but now it feels like farms you can go there for little trips out with the family. They've got cafes, they've got stores, they do courses. It's like, so I would probably expand my farm to have a cafe.
Due to my job, which I cannot go into on the podcast because I would get sacked, I can talk to you for a long time about that stuff.
Oh, this sounds good. It's a shame we can't talk about that. That would be a good
Shai was asking when I was on stream last week, and I was like, no, just ask me at EGX. It's not that it's like shameful, it's just unfortunately it's my employer's policy that you can't identify yourself as an employee on like anywhere on the internet, basically.
Oh, that's good. Well, at least you don't have to say the whole like these are not my employer's views, blah 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 on Twitter.
Yeah, true. So it saves all of that shit.
I didn't realise when you say race ostriches, Matt. Do you mean like make them race each other, or do you mean with people on the back?
Because I just had a look. Each other.
Well, I just had a look, and you can ride ostriches. Apparently, people do this.
Is that a real thing? I assumed that was in cartoons and not in real life.
Well, that's what's going to be on my farm.
There's too many that could have them all have been like photoshopped or whatever. But
it's just you can do copy and paste in Photoshop. You can get a lot of ostrich on the PSD if you need to.
You see, I'd have thought the ostriches would be quite pissed off about this, to be honest.
I'm gonna have to. Well, yeah, they never seem like the friendliest animals, but then maybe I just don't know enough.
They've got
ostriches.
those long necks; they can like turn around and peck you and stuff.
Yeah. Right,
Chen hates them.
Oh no, there's videos.
Are there? Okay.
Yeah.
How can you hate an ostrich? What's to hate about them?
Ostrich racing is a sport where people race each other on the backs of ostriches. This is on topendsports.com.
Is it like top end sport to me?
I mean, they can be ridden, but
they can be ridden similarly as horses with wagons, special saddles, reins, and bits.
Wow.
The contests are said to be harder to manage than horses.
Thanks to the 200 bits. They've got those massive necks, haven't
they? Yeah. I mean, that's. I love that people also ask from Google, can you ride ostriches, and how do ostriches kill humans? Oh, there you go. The answer is, this is from National Geographic, ostrich kicks can kill a human or potential predator like a lion. Each two-toed foot has a long, sharp claw.
Okay.
Noted. Oh, wow. So not pecking, so kicks you need to watch out for.
Yeah, because
so actually sitting on the back is the best place to be.
Little known fact, kicks like a lion. That's the way.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say kicks like a lion? Is that what you said?
It's sorry. Ostrich kicks can kill a human or a potential predator, like a lion. So not as in they kill humans or predators in the manner that a lion would.
I was saying lions would be kicking someone to death, would they?
Forget about the claws. Just kick him.
Just a massive kick to his shins. Yeah, I've never seen it on Attenborough documentary before, but I don't know
seen this before. I might check out some ostrich races after this.
Oh my god! So I've now changed my search to Ostrich Racing UK. there's a place in Ipswich, guys.
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
TCGS meet. We're doing it.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely.
Well, not just a meet. A meet and then a race.
I'm sure it's got to be cruel for some reason, hasn't it? There's got to be something wrong with this.
Yeah, that's why it's not more popular, because on paper it's hilarious. So it's just got to be a reason this isn't absolutely.
Yeah, this is probably why people just do go-karting on stag do's and not ostrich racing. But there would be quite a nice twist on the
British. I'm just like, look. I mean, there's the British Domesticated Ostrich Association, so I'm sure they've got the whole thing down there.
Okay. Anyway, Moonlighter. Yeah.
Moonlighter. It sounds really good. So I was in the same boat as you in that. So trailers and everything looked absolutely stunning, and as you say, the reviews came out, and it was like, it's pretty good. Which at the time was not enough for a day one perch. But yeah, seeing it on, I've got it installed on Game Pass, and I keep meaning to check it out.
And I think some DLC came out for it last month as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
Between Dimensions. It's a new DLC, so yeah, I'm probably gonna buy it on Switch. But then I'll be like switching between both Fire Emblem and this, like a madman. But yeah, I want both, and I want it on Switch, so I'm gonna do that. Even if it means starting again, I absolutely don't mind. The first 3 hours are pretty quick anyway.
Okay.
I recommend it. You got Game Pass, haven't you, James?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you should get downloaded,
You'd be
mate.
mad not to at this point.
Yeah,
you don't even need an Xbox.
£1 deal is still on, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it?
That's how I did it.
I need to make use of that then, because I just thought I was like, I'm not going to be, because I was skint at the time they announced it, and I was like, it's probably only going to be for like the next week, and then they'll pull it. No, I should probably make use of that, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I'm glad I did it 3 years. So like that's me to like 2022.
Yeah, I'm up to end of 2021. I'm quite happy with that.
I mean, I guess the deal's still on, so I should like get another month and then do the deal, and
might as well. Yeah.
I guess. Because I think I was covered until June, so yeah, I might see when the actual end date is and buy like a 3-month pass and then do the other £1 upgrade. I'll actually wonder if I can still do it. Who knows? Yeah, Moonlight, get on that. I'm glad I went back to it.
Cool.
It was free. And it seems extremely my shit. And that's about it this week. Oh, nice. Sorry, I played... on Sunday I streamed Night in the Woods.
Oh, yeah, you did. How was that?
Yeah. It's not really a streaming game. It's very slow. And it's
basically just obviously
a lot of text. And I could have just sat there looking at the screen, pressing A, but I was like reading out the text to try.
I always try and do that.
Were you doing accents as well, Matt? I heard.
I was doing some accents at some part, and then because I'm bad at accents for a kickoff.
That was the feedback I heard.
Yeah, it was, and some people were saying it was offensive to people. It's like it was.
Hang on, what sort of accents are we talking?
It was just like a Manc accent, maybe like a northern. I don't know.
So you weren't going like, "Hey guys, check out my Japanese accent."
I was not doing that. I wasn't doing it on stream. No.
Good to know.
No, and so I was doing accents for a part, and then I sort of stopped because it was really ruining the story, which is it's a good story. And it's like a lovely vibe with great music, and it's just I think the game's fantastic, as I did when I nominated it for Game of the Year 2017.
Finished it.
So yeah, I'm playing that. And I'm enjoying it. It's nice to go back, and I'm gonna.
It's funny, because last week I streamed Concrete Jungle, which I wasn't going to talk about it. It's fine. It's a really nice game, but it just wasn't much of a stream game, and it was about halfway through. I'd sort of acknowledged that, and everyone in the chat was just like, we were just chatting. To be honest, it's just quite nice. Like it's just hanging out. No one's really paying attention to the game after the first hour or so. But yeah,
I've got a question, right? So it's not really a stream game, and would it be the end of the world if I played it offline and then just came back to stream for the last couple of hours?
That'd be all right. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I might do that because no one's going to want to sit through me just like tapping buttons for like 6 hours. I might just get to the last hour or two and then stream that bit there.
Yeah,
some stuff really just doesn't work streaming, like Quantum Break. That didn't work. It's just you have to choose what you can get.
Yeah, I mean I've gone from like Bloodborne, which is like it's an exciting game to watch. People like the failure and overcoming obstacles and really tough enemies, to this where the toughest thing was it's like a Guitar Hero thing with notes coming down the screen, which admittedly I did struggle on. But
good song. But there's some weird, like, considering the first song it makes you do, there is some weird, like, offbeat notes and stuff.
At first I was like, God, this is hard. And I sort of turned the Xbox pad around sort of 90 degrees and suddenly it was fine. But it's just the way my finger... I think I was trying to do all of the 4 buttons with one finger. I was like, no, this clearly isn't working. Think of it like a Guitar Hero game. Yes, I might do that, and then like on Sunday I'll just maybe finish it and then I can get on with Alex Kidd or something easy.
Fucking Alex Kidd, Jesus Christ.
Alex Kidd.
Emails. James, that's your bit.
It is my bit, yeah. Okay, if you want to email us, it's podcast@thecomputergameshow.com. Okay, so the first one is from my dog Skip, which has been... It says, honk honk, motherfuckers. So that's a reference to your...
You really sold that. That was
James,
good.
are you okay?
I'm all right.
No, what's happening? You're not going to die on the pod?
No, I was just doing a cough, but it's fine. It's okay.
Well, get a cough out now. Share it with the class.
I've done it already.
I'll just also, while we're being disruptive, James said this is the first email. There is only one, so it's the first.
Is there only one? I hadn't scrolled down. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not only does James now not even bother putting emails in the doc, he doesn't even scroll down the doc.
Not even read them first. He's just like,
he doesn't even do that.
I don't read them first. That is true. Which is why it sometimes goes wrong when I'm reading them. I've only just come back to the wonderful world of video games after a brief hiatus while I went and did adult stuff. Moved house, got married, new job, etc. I thought it was going to... when I read that, I thought it said adult movies, and I thought that would have been... That would have been fun.
Yeah, we're doing some, adult stuff.
Yeah. Did a couple of big shoots in LA. And now I'm
too busy shagging on camera for the video games.
Now time for some pong, baby.
Okay, so firstly, I wanted to thank you all for giving me back the motivation to sit in my pants on the sofa and play more games. So here's my question. A few years ago, before the advent of downloadable games became so prevalent, I always wondered why no one brought out a console with a multi-CD changer in it, similar to my late 90s Technics Hi-Fi, a total... No, I'm not reading that. Panty drawer.
No, James, you've got to read it, but we'll just...
No, it's all right. Crack on.
What is the technology that other products use that you think is a complete oversight for console manufacturers, and what should they be looking at using the next generation? I should have read this first. Once again, though, thank you so much for getting me back, being passionate about a hobby that I thought I'd grown out of. I can't wait to get stuck back in those games. I should have played more of. Looking forward to the next one.
So, I mean, smell-o-vision never became a thing with games, did it? That's an error. Stick a little thing in the controller so that it pumps smells out.
No one would ever want that.
I would. I think it'd be fantastic.
Okay, but name a game where that would be useful.
What is Zool? Because everything's made of sweets and it would smell nice.
You got me there.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be like just put a vape pen on the controller and just have every so...
Yeah, imagine what that'd be like, though, if you're playing like Dark Souls and stuff. What would that smell like?
It just stink. It would smell like... Oh, can you imagine doing Blighttown?
Yeah.
Your whole house would just stink as shit. Be awesome.
Someone could build a mod, because like so maybe obviously like the PlayStation Pad's got a speaker. Like someone could like reverse engineer it so actually that chucks air out. You get a big vape rig.
Yeah.
Suddenly you got a smoke machine. Watermelon.
Actually, in a similar vein, so I was playing Beat Saber the other night, and it's been really hot.
So your front room stunk. Yeah,
it's absolutely fragrant. Yeah, but no, I had a fan pointing at me, and I tell you what, playing Beat Saber.
Was it Shy the Goose who was pointing at you?
Wait, what?
What was it? One of the listeners just in the room, just point as a fan. Okay.
Oh, I see. A fan.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Matt, I'm sorry. I'm tired.
To be fair, it was weak. It was
piss poor. But you've got to throw your hat in the ring. Sorry,
Go try. So I had a fan pointing at me, and the sensation of playing Beat Saber, where like the notes are flying at you, combined with an actual fan blowing on you, felt like rather than the notes coming at me, like I was like flying at them. And it was this weird sensation of movement. So yeah, I think more consoles should have a giant fan on them to blow at your face during certain bits. That's the thing in some cinemas, right?
Yeah, I still know. Is that like a 4D cinema? I've still never actually done that.
Yeah.
There's like a D-Max cinema up here. Have you guys tried that? I think that is like where the whole seat moves as well.
Oh yeah. I never have, but yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah, I should give that a go. That'd be brilliant. On like a Fast and Furious movie or something, that'd be banging. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that the vitality sensor didn't work, okay? And like using a heartbeat to change gameplay stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you could put heartbeat sensors just in a controller, right? Just in the grips.
Yeah, because didn't like the original incarnations of a Steam controller had something where it can like measure your heartbeat. Yeah. So like, we're gonna have games, but I think they ripped it out when after a couple of revisions, it basically like, okay, it's pretty much a regular pad with a couple of weird fun controllers. But yeah, that'd be pretty banging if you can measure pulse and heartbeat.
Yeah. Although, what if it just made games really hard if you were just naturally anxious? That wouldn't be that wouldn't be great. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe a game where the more maybe you have like a crank game where your pulse has to be above a certain limit for the entire time, or else you die.
That's a great idea. Someone should do that. Yeah, crank the game.
Yeah, they really should. That'd be amazing. I mean, really stressful, but
but I guess you'd like have to be like running on the spot or something at all times to get your heart rate going. That's a great idea. Someone should do it.
Any others?
No. James says no.
Yeah. James says no. That's it.
It's 10:30, ladies and gentlemen. This is like Gremlins. We don't feed him after midnight. It's like
I do actually need to get to Asda before it shuts in half an hour.
James has shut down for the evening, so we're running on.
Tweets, come on, just the tweets. Get on with
it. Let James have a lovely conversation. No need to hurry us. We're just having a lovely conversation. Free best buds. All right, let's just calm down. Let's get on to tweets. It's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter.
He's calm. He's falling asleep.
Yeah, he's way too calm. Progress Lost on Twitter. Years ago, when moving out of a student flat, I discovered that mice had eaten all the buttons on my Super NES controllers. Super NES. What is wrong with you? God, people. How has nature ruined your games? I mean, the amount of times I spill, drink over games, and then you have to take the covers out and dry them.
That's not nature, though, is it? That's not.
No,
that's just you being clumsy.
Well, but it could be nature. It's maybe that's fate. I was always supposed to spill my cordial over asterisks on the Master System.
That is a man-made problem.
Yeah, I'm from nature, and so therefore it is nature.
I remember stupidly putting my video game case boxes or whatever on the windowsill when I was younger, and then they all faded because of the sun.
Oh wow! You left them there for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, they were there for a very long time, and they got all faded.
It's exciting though. That this isn't
very great.
This isn't nature, but I had a PSP that I got out. I'd hacked it and everything. I was like, oh, do you know what? Actually, that was a really good little emulation machine. That'd be ace. I'm going to get that out again. And the battery had inflated. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. But that's not an answer to the question, is it? Because it's nothing to do with nature.
No, it's not nature, Sean.
It's a chemical reaction, which I guess is also...
Not a natural one, James.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's unnatural. It's incredibly unnatural, that.
It is. It is. So I've got nothing.
Athene Allen, there's a picture in the doc. Hopefully you can both see it. Question for this week's pod. How does this image make you feel? Now, the image is of the Beyond Two Souls script, I imagine. I was going to use Britannica Encyclopedia as a reference. No one will get it under the age of 35, so forget that. It's like a fuckload of paper, basically.
It's like a giant cube.
What's inside the cube? Absolute gold is the answer.
What it makes me feel is merriment. Purely because of the fact that I heard that all those are blank sheets of paper anyway, and it was just
that's right.
Yeah, which makes it even funnier. The idea that they just got a whole stack of several reams of paper stuck a Beyond Two Souls cover and it said, "This is how big the script is."
Hang on, what? What do you mean? Is all blank?
Yeah, this is a real thing.
There's no script in there, Matt. It's just paper, like plain paper.
But who did this?
Quantic Dream.
What? Why?
They sent it to journalists to try and show how much dialogue there was in the game.
But it was just blank.
It's just blank paper, yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't
2,000 blank pages. So I found, there's a story on Kotaku about it.
Fucking hell, what's the point? That doesn't... Pathetic.
But it's a very good example of the game. It's got on the front Beyond Two Souls by David Cage, and there's nothing inside. It's just
Yeah, it says a lot. I think
does it all really, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay, right. Next one, Louis. Okay, it's Lewis, isn't it? Lewis Belfort.
No, I thought it was Louis. You're thinking of Mr. Pettit again, aren't you?
Louis Belfort. How's Days Gone going, Matt? Darren Gargett, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much time does James have for the community? 10 being loads, 1 being fuck all. James, how much do you love our community?
I love our community.
That just sounded sarcastic. Why is Darren asking this of James in particular? Has something happened that I'm not aware of?
What have you done to the community, James? What have you done to the community?
Apart from providing quality content, I can't think of anything.
No, agreed. There, you're definitely doing that. But what have you done to the community?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm being singled out here.
Do you want? No. Is it time to confess to Sean and I something that you've done to the community that we don't know about?
I can't think of anything, I'm afraid. I really can't.
Right.
Darren, DM me. Something's clearly gone on. James has done something
let us know why you've
singled
James
I'd like to know
as
well. It's
Well, we'll wait for the police to get involved. But yeah, just DM us, Darren, and don't worry, we'll fix it. James will not be doing that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Ross Wilson has tweeted, after Star Calls, will James be watching the Jason Statham movies?
Almost certainly not.
I'd recommend that. Honestly,
that's a great idea. Yeah, Statham Calls.
You can skip the mechanic, but other than that,
no, surely he's got to do all of them.
Do you reckon? Well, so Dave didn't get to skip any of the Star Wars films.
Yeah, which one of us is the biggest Jason Statham fan? I mean, I've got the bald head, sure, but that's about as far as my love goes.
God, yeah, no, I don't know. We'll have to have some sort of
Next question. But basically Colin said, I've got questions for everyone. So that's James says, will Sean ever play FIFA The Journey even once? We think we've covered that. That is happening in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks.
When is Dave coming back is the other question. Probably never, Colin.
Don't know.
And I have no question for Matt. So thanks a bunch. Colin. Ben Barrows at Drama Day on Twitter. Have you held off buying a game because you think it'll end up on PS Plus / Game Pass? I'm sure Assassin's Creed Origins and eventually Odyssey will arrive at some point, so I'm biding my time for now. Could be a long wait, but happy to hang on anyway.
See, I do this less and less now because, maybe not for Game Pass, but PlayStation Plus is so bad, generally, that most of the stuff that I would want is never going to be on there, probably. So
yeah, defo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually have PlayStation Plus anymore. I don't have a PlayStation subscription. Just because if I'm gonna play online, it's gonna be on my Xbox anyway, and so I'm not really missing it. But every time I announce new games, I'm like, I'm not too fussed. I'm sure Assassin's Creed games will go on there, but it'll be a while. At Game Pass, there's always good stuff on there.
I mean, the only things that have turned up on Game Pass and made me go fuck, I've already bought that, and I wish I hadn't. Or not even that I wish I hadn't, but it's always been things like Slay the Spire, which I had on Switch, and I would rather play it on Switch anyway. So not felt too sore about it.
Exactly. This week's example was perfect. Like Moonlighter, play on Xbox, on Game Pass, loving it, but I need it on Switch. So well done, Nintendo, for providing the games on Switch that are paid. So that's what they should do. So every game on Game Pass, they should say, look, we need it on Switch because people will basically play it for free on Game Pass and then give us money to play it.
Yeah.
It's an absolute genius thing. I should do that. Luke Summerhate at Busky Lily on Twitter. What game did you really enjoy but didn't get the following you felt it deserved? For me, it would be ARMS. ARMS is a weird one. Lots of people seem to love it, really love it, but I don't know, it felt like Nintendo didn't really push it enough, or...
Well, no, they did lots of events for it. I mean, I don't mean... I mean, in-game events, they did loads of that. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I bought it when it was like in some sale or something, and yeah, really loved it.
Yeah, I know a good few people who consider it like a proper all-timer. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. But what games did I really enjoy? Didn't get the following I felt it deserved. I don't know, because I mean, like previously, the answer to this would be Monster Hunter, but that's arrived now. Everyone likes it
very much so.
I don't know. I'm struggling. Like, when was the last time that I was like really pissed off that people wouldn't play something that I knew was really good and no one would listen?
I mean, for me, it's Outer Wilds.
Yeah,
I think
but everyone's talking about that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Everyone's talking about that though.
I think people are talking about it, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you mean Outer Worlds?" Is that that's definitely harmed it, which is annoying because people are like,
"There's
I thought it was all-sitting games." Like, no, it's not, and you should play it. And people are talking about it, and I think if you've played it, I mean, chances are you absolutely love it, and you will be very vocal, and you want to get other people playing it. But I just. I worry it's going to go under the radar somewhat, but I still think it'll be in the conversation with a lot of people around Game of the Year time. Did you finish it, didn't you, Sean?
No, I've not finished it yet. I do fully intend to go back to it.
You absolutely need to, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about getting back to it.
Also play Astrobot.
Yes.
And FIFA.
Yeah. And FIFA.
Any other answers, James, or you
I've got nothing.
Out? Yeah, he's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. We'll end on Greg Shepherd again, my time-traveling dog. If TCGS was a Fire Emblem, and you were a professor, what classes would you assign the other 3 TCGS members into?
I don't know.
I'd give Matt dance.
Give me dance? Why? I'm a shit hot dancer. What's the?
Because I think
that class is really useful, man.
Yeah. Because
you completely miss it as well.
You've already got skills, Matt. So I'm saying it's like you'd be best suited for that class.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You'd have like a C rank to begin with before like special tuition.
Definitely, yeah. I'm pure C all day long.
Yeah. I mean, James he's a mage, isn't he? He's an intellectual, so he's got high reason skill and 0 faith. So
yeah, that figures.
So he's it's definitely a black mage. I don't think I've got any relevant combat skills. I did briefly do horse riding when I was about 4 years old.
Okay.
So of some sort of knight, I guess.
Some sort of knight.
I see you on horseback with a lance.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can see you on ostrich back.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about that?
Better.
A flying ostrich.
Combine your two loves. Or, like in Fire Emblem, obviously, there's a lot of eating. You could just be in the kitchen making all the food.
That's true. I could just be the chef.
Yeah.
That'd be all right. Deal with that.
That sounds good to me.
Safest place to be, in the kitchen, if there's a war going on.
Yeah, I've heard that. That is it for tweets. Let's go on to the end bit. Sean is streaming tonight. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, it is new Wednesday night slot at 9 o'clock. He's streaming No Man's Sky VR, which is out. If you're listening to it on Wednesday, it's out today. I cannot wait to try this. No Man's Sky VR. I'm ridiculously psyched.
I'm really excited. I really hope it isn't. I really hope it isn't like slightly fucked, because it could be.
It could be. There's a lot of hype. Hopefully it's... I guess I didn't think about that.
Because I'm intrigued with the way that, when you get in your ship, you actually like grab the controls and pilot it around that way. I think that could be rubbish. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm really excited to try it out. Can't wait.
Yeah, and if it works well and like the co-op works well, we might, it'd be great to see if we can all like stream together at some point. But
No
Man's Sky VR. That's what Sean's streaming tonight. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, on Friday, James is continuing his Until Dawn stream. The video from last week's stream is up on our YouTube channel. Search for TCGS on YouTube and absolutely watch it. It's fantastic. And so I've got high hopes for this Friday stream. That's Friday at 9. And on Sunday, I'm going to stream Night in the Woods. It might actually be the last bit of Night in the Woods if I can get through it in the week. But otherwise, Night in the Woods at 8:30. That thing is coming right off my plate. They're all on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/The Computer Game Show or just search us in the app. Twitch Prime is a thing, and if you've got Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, and one of the many benefits of Twitch Prime is that you get 1 free sub a month. You can't spend it on yourself. You can only give it away, and Amazon would hate it if you gave it away. They want you to forget about it, so it's it's saved money. But no, go to our channel, give us the free monthly sub. We'll really, really appreciate it. And if you've done it in the past, feel free, think about coming back and resubbing, because it doesn't remind you when your sub expires. Star calls that every single Monday. This week, it's The Last Jedi that Dave's seen. I actually think it's your best one so far, James.
It's fucking great. It's so good.
Yeah. It's a really great episode. Obviously, lots to talk about with The Last Jedi. That's on all podcast services and it's on our YouTube channel as well. And that's about it. Yeah, we're on Patreon, of course, patreon.com/TCGS. We'd really appreciate your support there. You get exclusive podcasts, you get early access to other videos we're doing, so on and so forth. And you can go to thecomputergameshow.com for all the other bits.
Aye. Thanks for listening. It's been good. I'm sorry if I've been a bit rambly. I am really tired. I'm quite...
You haven't been. It's been great.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, James, on the other hand, fucking hell.
You know, it just catches you off guard. Like, normally this is not a problem, but I could go straight to bed, except I've got the final mission on Fire Emblem to do, so inevitably that'll be the next half an hour.
Yeah, that's a 2 a.m. right there.
One last question. Have you had any crashes with Fire Emblem?
No, have you?
Yeah, mine's crashed twice. I
Shit.
wonder why. Yeah. Which is weird.
Did not know. Yeah, okay.
Have you lost lots of progress, or has it been quite good putting it back in?
No, it's usually been fine. It's usually just been inside a battle, so then it's just like, oh, I've got to do this battle again. But yeah, they're not that long, so it's okay.
How weird. Right, bye then. Yes. Good night, and thanks for letting us be natural. Appreciate it.
Good night, Sean.
Yep.
Good night, James.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, boys.
So I just saw Paul Robinson's trending on Twitter.
As in the keeper?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Paul Robinson from Neighbours. Disappointed.